Well, Ancient Post-Flood History is the first book that I wrote. Basically, we went back to a bunch of old Jewish manuscripts and other manuscripts, compiling it with Genesis, Kings, Chronicles, and other places to give a brief explanation of pre-flood history. And then we went into early post-flood history. We found out that there were 792 years, according to all of those old documents, between the flood and the Exodus. So what we wanted to do is take that time period and find out where Noah's 16 grandsons went and what they did during that time period. So for instance, there's chapters in the book about Japheth's descendants. So we talk about the Anglo-Saxons, England, Armenia, Britain, Denmark, Norway. Those actually have ancient chronicles that go all the way back to the guy in the boat, in the flood. So it's really amazing to know what chronicles are, how the country actually got started. But we also have France and Germany, Georgia, Greece, Ireland, Scotland, Italy, Russia, and Troy. With Greece, it's interesting because we found out from the early church fathers most of the Greek gods really were people that were died and were buried. And so the early church fathers knew that and used that to witness to people. There's also chapters about Shem's descendants, so the Arab nations, China in the time that they worshiped the one true God, India, Iran, Iraq, which is modern-day Babylon, Israel, and the Kurds, their background histories. There's also histories of Ham's descendants. All the African nations, what we can find out about them. Canaan, Egypt's old kingdom, Egypt in the time of Abraham, in the time of Joseph, and in the time of the Exodus. So in each one of these cases, we went back and found actual chronicles or written documents or legends in those countries that go along with Hebrew history, which would be the Bible, the book of Jasher, the Seder Olam, other things like that, even Sodom and Gomorrah. In these cases, we found that Egypt recorded Joseph by a different name, actually commemorating a monument that he built in Egypt that still exists today. And in the time of the Exodus, the manuscripts identify who the Exodus Pharaoh was and those kind of things. So it's fascinating. The other main thing about this is once you identify the kingdoms and you know what their old Hebrew names are, then when you go into a place like Ezekiel 38 and 39, where you're talking about Gog and Magog, you know exactly who those nations are. So hope you like it. Check it out if you want to. It's in our store, and it's at Amazon.com. Thank you.